Hi students! In this video, we are going to continue learning the basic structure, the syntax for sentences in English. In this class, you will learn 3 types of sentences. So, let's learn the number 3. Number 3 is subject plus intransitive verb. Let's learn this sentence style together. Before we look at this particular sentence style, we need to review. Every sentence needs 2 parts. What are the necessary parts? The subject and the verb. The subject and the verb have jobs. These are roles, jobs that the words have. And this group, the subject and the verb, is called a clause. All sentences have clauses. We are learning 3 different sentence styles. We are learning number 3 today. Like the example here, number 3, Karen works. Karen is my subject, and works here is an intransitive verb. So we are learning that sometimes the clause is only subject-verb. Sometimes the clause is subject-verb-object. Sometimes the clause is subject-verb complement. But we always need at least a subject and a verb inside of your clause. So now that we remembered that all sentences need a clause, a subject and a verb, let's study this sentence type. Let's study sentence type number 3. Subject plus intransitive verb. Okay. So what are intransitive verbs? Some examples are dance, fall, fly, jump, listen, learn, move, relax, scream, sit, stand, walk, wave, yell. All of these are verbs that are intransitive verbs. That means that when you make a sentence, after the verb, you do not need an object. Do not need an object. You do not need a complement. So remember, you don't use direct objects after these verbs because the action does not transfer. So for these verbs, you only need a subject before and then the verb, the intransitive verb. On this page, you can see there are 3 examples of this new sentence type. Number 1, the children screamed. So in this example, you can see the subject is the children and the intransitive verb is screamed. Number 2, Patrick works. Again, this is a subject and intransitive verb sentence type. Patrick is the subject, works is the intransitive verb. The rabbit, in number 3, the rabbit is the subject, lives is my intransitive verb. So these 3 examples are correct sentences. Remember, we don't use objects after intransitive verbs, but after the intransitive verb, you can use adverbs or prepositions. So let's look at these examples using adverbs and prepositions. The children screamed. This is just subject, intransitive verb, but if you want, you can add loudly at the end. That is an adverb. The children screamed loudly. Or you can add a preposition. The children screamed from their room. From their room is a prepositional phrase. Number 2, Patrick works. This is just the subject and the intransitive verb, but you can add an adverb. He works well. Or you can add a preposition in an office. He works in an office. Number 3, the rabbit lives. Lives is the intransitive verb. You can say it lives in the city of Oakland. In the city of Oakland would be a prepositional phrase. Or you say it lives happily. Happily is an adverb. So here you see examples of only using the subject and the intransitive verb. Or if you want to add more information, but not objects, we're not adding objects, you can add adverbs or prepositions. Let's take a look at some more example sentences. Number 1, danced. Sarah danced. This is enough information. We understand the sentence. We do not need an object after the verb dance. We don't need it. This is enough information. Number 2, Carl fell. He fell down. Carl fell. Fell is enough information. We don't need an object because this action, falling, the action does not transfer. The object does not receive this action, so the action stays with the subject. Number 3, David flew to Canada. Flew, like get on a plane and fly. David flew, past tense. After flew, we don't have no object. Here we have to Canada. This is a preposition. It's not an object because after flew, we do not need an object. The action does not transfer to the object, so we don't need an object. Number 4, Carol and Amy listened. This is enough information. This is an example of an intransitive verb. Alex learned. Learn is an intransitive verb. Alex learned. This is enough information to understand this sentence. Subject and intransitive verb. The baby, subject, moved is an intransitive verb. The baby moved. We understand. This is enough information. We don't need an object after this verb. The children screamed. Again, scream is an intransitive verb. I relaxed. Relax is also an intransitive verb. Pause this video here to study the examples more carefully. Please look at the verb. The verb is in bold. It is a strong color so that you can easily see the verb. Please see that after the verb, we do not have objects. No objects, because with intransitive verbs, the action does not transfer. Sometimes some verbs, like these examples, flew, listened, learned, moved, these examples, these verbs can be used like transitive verbs. So some verbs can be transitive and intransitive. It depends on your message. So because some verbs can be transitive and intransitive, you choose depending on the message. For example, number 3, David flew to Canada. I am just giving you information. He flew. Okay, so that is an intransitive verb here. But if I say something like, David flew the plane is an object. So here, flew is an example of a transitive verb because we have subject David, flew, transitive verb because after we have object. This is because David flew the plane means he is driving the plane. He flew the plane. He is the pilot. Okay, so it's a little different. Number 4, Carol and Amy listened. This is an intransitive verb. They listened. Or you can use it as a transitive verb and you say listened to music. So when you use listen as a transitive verb, you need listen to. Listen to music. Listen to the teacher. Okay, number 5, learn. Alex learned. Number 5, you can use it as a transitive verb and you say Alex learned basketball. What did he learn? He learned basketball. In this example, basketball is an object. The object receives the action, the learning. So Alex learned basketball is an example of a subject, transitive verb, and object sentence. Number 6, the baby moved. The baby moved here is an example of an intransitive verb. The baby moved. We don't know what the baby moved, and that's okay. The baby moved. We're just saying this happened. The baby moved. But if you want to explain more, what did the baby move? Then you need to use the transitive verb. You need to use the transitive verb moved so that you can use an object after. The baby moved his legs. So now we understand what he moved. So this page shows you that verbs can be intransitive or transitive. It sometimes depends on the message. So let's review. This sentence type, number 3, is for sentences that follow this style of subject plus intransitive verb. The sentence style uses an intransitive verb. Some examples of intransitive verbs are fall, laugh, live. After intransitive verbs, you do not use objects, no objects, but you can use a preposition, you can use an adverb. And remember, some verbs are both transitive and intransitive. It depends on your message. I hope this video helps you understand this sentence type number 3. Thank you for watching.